Hello friends, happy July 1st of the month. So when I was making that list last week of things that are the worst thing, there was some video game stuff that I kept thinking of to include in the list, and there was so much of it that I thought, I'm just gonna go and explore this topic of video game trauma. So firstly, the first gaming thing I ever owned was a Game Boy Color, and one of the earlier games that I got was Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, except I wasn't very good at it, and I kept dying a lot, and I had rage issues as a child, and I took out my anger by biting things. At one point, I was so angry at Mario for dying so much that I bit the nearest thing that wasn't like my arm, which was the Game Boy Color, and broke the screen. So there was just this big splotch of black in the middle of it, and the Game Boy still played, but you couldn't really see half the screen. And believe me, I tried to continue playing because I was not ready to give up my Game Boy despite the fact that it was igniting childhood rage problems. A little later in life, I had acquired a GameCube, and my brother sent me Animal Crossing, and I was totally obsessed with it. And like, I had school and stuff to go to, so I had to ask special permission from my mom to play on days when I knew that an event was happening. Like, if Gracie was gonna be in town, I need to ask permission to play for like 20 minutes so I could deal with Gracie. But like on weekends, I was playing it day and night, all the time. One night, I was being a good child, I was being quiet and everything. Animal Crossing isn't exactly a scream at your TV kind of a game. And my mom decided that I had been playing for too long, and instead of just saying, you should stop playing or whatever, she unplugged the console. I don't know if you've ever played Animal Crossing, but if you turn off the console without saving, this delightful character called Resetti shows up and yells at you, and I didn't know that was coming when I was playing that game, and so I was upset that she had erased hours and hours of playtime for one thing, and then when I turned the console back on, lo and behold, here is an angry mole with scary teeth and a pointy nose screaming at me. I literally thought she had f***ed up the game like irreparably, and that was it, and I was so upset. I've mentioned before on this channel that I'm a huge fan of Majora's Mask, the Zelda game on the N64. My cousin got an N64 first, and he got Majora's Mask from a friend or something, and so I was playing it at his house a lot, and I was totally in love with it. He didn't like it as much as me, so I was usually the one playing it, and he was like armed with the strategy guide. I slowly trudged my way through the game and made it all the way to Stone Tower, which is the final area, then you can go to Endgame. So I was very nearly done, and well, I mentioned my cousin didn't like it very much, and his mom took it upon herself to get rid of the game. I was this close to finishing it, and then it was gone. I was just so frustrated that I poured all of this time and effort into this game and I couldn't finish it, and it was pulled out from under me, or what, but I never went back to it until they released this. I got this thing in the mail, which has Majora's Mask in it, and then I immediately just barreled right on through the game and finally finished it and gave myself some closure. Fast forward years later, that is to say a couple of weeks ago, and I was playing Majora's Mask again, and I made it through the game all the way up to Stone Tower. I made it all the way through the block puzzle, got up to the top of Stone Tower, and just as I entered the temple, the game disc crashed. Screen froze. Nothing I could do about it. And if you're not aware, in Majora's Mask, you can't save anywhere you want. You have to save at specific save points, and you can't save and continue. You can only save when you want to quit the game. And then when you want to reopen the file, you wipe out your save point. So when the game reset, I warped back to the last time I went back in time, which if you're not familiar with Majora's Mask, I'm about to lose you. That was like hours of gameplay lost. Just entering Stone Tower Temple, because it's so complex, I guess, it crashed the game disc. It was... But it gets better. I went back, I completed Stone Tower again, I went back into the temple again, I got halfway through it, got the light arrows, was almost done, and it crashed again. Stone Tower is cursed. It's those Elegy of Emptiness statues, like that ain't natural. So yeah. So if you have any traumatic gaming experiences, feel free to share and we can wallow together, or you can just feel sorry for me in the comments. I don't know, whatever. Okay, peace, live, geekdom, goodbye.